have no idea who she is. But what am I?
She going kisses. She must want to work for me. Come on. Now that the Bambi and I have become allies, it's time for me to teach her the facts of life. Now she's pretty enough, but is she strong enough? I think it's time to find out. Seem like your eggs got legs.
Wow.
And as I can see, some ass.
Whoa, this is Bam.
Hi, how are you?
Lady, this is my friend Erica.
I'm sorry to hear about everything that happened.
What's everything that happened?
You know, what happened with the pregnancy. I'm sorry about that.
You told her? Why would you be telling her my personal business?
No, it was like some friendly type.
How long have you been knowing her to be telling her my personal business, though?
I mean, just a minute. I mean, you know how to talk when we met.
But I'm saying, like, who is she to be knowing my business?
Well, you told me everything, though. Hold on.
As Scrappy sat in his living room, the glow from a single lamp casting long shadows over the room, his mind traveled back to the moment that had broken his heart just hours earlier, the words Bambi had spoken still echoing in his ears. The night was thick with silence, the kind of silence that only comes after moments of profound change. After all they had experienced, the highs and lows, the passion, the disagreements, the laughter, the tears, he couldn't comprehend it. Therefore, I'm not ready. He thought they were finally on the same page. This was supposed to be the moment when the proposal went beyond a simple question. It was his way of letting Bambi know that he was in this for the long haul. But her rejection was like a kick in the face. He had never felt more exposed or vulnerable after giving her his heart. A bitter taste filled Scrappy's mouth as his heart ached from despair at why she didn't want him. He had worked so hard to create a future, to demonstrate to her that he had changed and was prepared to offer her everything, but eventually it wasn't enough. The rejection hurt more than he could have ever imagined, and the room felt like it was closing in on him. Scrappy got up suddenly, having to do anything to divert his attention from the whirlwind of emotions. He reached for his phone and dialed a number without realizing it was Erica Pinkett, who was the only person who could calm him down, even though he wasn't sure whether that was a good thing. Perhaps now a curse. Before Erica answered the phone, it rang twice. Her voice was pleasant and recognizable, but it didn't provide him with the solace he had hoped for. "I need to talk. I just don't know what to do," Scrappy said in a low, slightly weak voice, as though the weight of his emotions was finally leaking out. Erica halted because she recognized the tone from a previous encounter. It wasn't just about the proposal. It was also about Bambi. She wondered what had happened. "Scrappy." Erica's tone eased the intense worry. "Bambi stated that she rejected me. I offered Erica all I have, and she rejected me." His voice cracked a little as he revealed the truth. "I felt we were on excellent terms and that I could trust her with my future, but now it seems like nothing makes sense. The pain is still too fresh." As she heard his remarks, Erica's mind raced. She could sense his suffering, but she also wondered if Scrappy had anticipated this and had been so committed to making things work with Bambi. However, it always felt like they were two individuals battling their issues and finding it difficult to unite. "I apologize, Scrappy." In a hushed voice, Erica replied, "You can't make someone love you or be ready for something they're not. She's not in the same place as you, and you have to face that you can't keep pouring yourself into someone who isn't willing to meet you halfway." Even though Scrappy was aware of this fact, hearing it from Erica made his throat clench. She was correct that Bambi wasn't prepared. Perhaps she had never been, or perhaps she was still battling her issues, just like he was. "It seems like I'm constantly seeking something I can't have, and now I'm just lost. I thought I was done repeating the same mistakes, but now I'm in this mess and don't know what to do. You should let her go because Erica didn't sugarcoat it. Even though it may sting a lot, sometimes letting go of something that is already slipping is the best thing you can do for yourself. Leaving as the conversation came to an end, Scrappy's phone felt heavy in his hand. He stared at the screen for a moment, almost hoping that something would change the truth that Erica had just laid out, but nothing did. The truth was unavoidable. He couldn't keep chasing Bambi because she wasn't ready for him and perhaps never would be. His chest felt constricted, and he stood there for a while not knowing what to do. Then his thoughts drifted back to the happy days he had spent with Bambi and their shared love. The unadulterated passion that had always existed between them shouldn't have ended this way. But across town, the text message from Scrappy was still unopened when Bambi was curled up on her couch, the soft glow of her phone screen illuminating her face. She had seen the proposal coming, but the emotions that rushed through her when he dropped to one knee had taken her by surprise. Her heart wanted to say yes, but her mind was screaming no. Bambi had always been the kind of woman who struggled with trust. Years of failed relationships had left her scared and her heart battered. Despite her love for Scrappy, she was afraid of giving herself completely to him because she was afraid of being vulnerable in a way she couldn't control. The rejection had torn her apart, but she had to be honest with herself that she wasn't ready for the kind of commitment he was asking for. Her decision weighed heavily on her chest, choking her. She had pushed him away out of fear that she would never be sufficient for him, not because she didn't care. As the hours went by, Bambi wiped the tears from her eyes, feeling a mixture of rage and grief. Why did love have to be so difficult? Why couldn't they just be content together? Bambi's mind raced as she relived each moment with unquestionably. They had a genuine connection. The intimacy, the fun, and the scrappy. Something raw, but love wasn't just about chemistry. It was about timing, and the timing wasn't right for her. Somewhere deep down, though, she wondered if she had made the biggest mistake of her life. The following day, Scrappy tried to move on, but his thoughts kept returning to Bambi. He told himself to let it go, but how could he? Perhaps Erica was right, he thought. Maybe I need to move on, but every part of him resisted the idea. When he put so much of his time, love, and future into something that seemed to have so much promise, he found himself torn between the woman he loved and the harsh reality that she wasn't prepared for him and Bambi. She sat by herself in her apartment, staring at her phone, the weight of her choice looming over her like a cloud. She wanted to call Scrappy to apologize and explain, but something inside of her prevented her from doing so. Would he understand, or would he view her as just another uncommittable woman? What if, after their shattered moments, it was too late? Both Scrappy and Bambi were in the quiet aftermath of their decisions, attempting to navigate a future neither of them could have predicted. The pain was evident, the emotions were raw, but they both knew that love couldn't be forced, and that sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that set you free. However, it was still unclear whether they would eventually find their way back to each other or move on to something else. They were certain that their love for one another would endure in their hearts long after the heartbreak subsided.